Hello, third graders. Welcome to lesson 2.1. Today, we're going to really focus on using something we know to solve something that might be a little more complicated. So, I would like for you to start with this question right here, right? With this series of three questions. So, after you find the answers, I want you to tell me what pattern you notice in the answers and in the problems. So, take a moment and please do that for me. All right, well, let's do the answers first. 7 is 2. 90 minus 70 would be 20, and 900 minus 700 would be 200. So look and see what's happening here, right? If we have 9 ones and subtract 7 ones, we have 2 in the one place. But now we do this in the tens, right? And so what patterns you could have described, right? Maybe that these numbers were all had the same first number. We were adding a zero each time. That's probably what a lot of folks said. If you want to go think about multiplying, these actually do multiply times 10 each time. But the pattern is, right, we're adding a zero here because we're in a different place value. All right, what do you think about these? Now we were subtracting. Now let's add. What pattern do you see here? All right, well, first you had to find out the answers, right? So 16, 160, 1,600. And so the same pattern applies, right? We're adding a zero each time because we're increasing the place value. So think about these patterns and how they can help us as we move forward, right? Our goal today is to kind of extend these facts by adding some multiples of zero, right? So adding these zeros and looking at how we can use what we already know to figure out something that we think we might not know. All right, we can do this in a different way too, right? So if you know your basic addition, 6 plus 8 equals 14. Well, then we can do 26 plus 8. So you know that 6 plus 8 is 14. So if you take 26 and add 8 more, right, then you know that you would then be up to 34, right? How do you know that? Well, you're starting 20 higher, right, than 6 plus 8. You're starting with 20 more. And this does kind of connect to some of the things we've been doing with our number talks. So 8 more than this number also is going to have a 4 in the ones place. Only this time we're going to be at 34. So we ended up with one more group of 10 here. 46 plus 8 equals 54, right? So, look at if we think about this on our number grid here, right? 6 plus 8 we'd be going starting at 6 and adding 8 more. So we'd be going, whoop, I tried to draw on it. Let's try again. We'd be going up to here. 26 plus 8, we'd be going up to there. 46 plus 8 would be 54. What if I had 76 plus 8? Where should I draw my line to? 76 plus 8. Where would it go? 84, right? So we can use this basic fact here to do some problems that we might not have thought we were able to do before. All right, we can also do it when we subtract. So 13 minus 5, I know that that is 8. So now I'm going to be going down. So 13 minus 5, 43 minus 5. I know it's going to have an 8 on the end, and I'm going to be losing a group of 10, 38. Let's look at it on our grid here. So I went from 13 minus 5 equals 8. 43 minus 5 equals 38. 73 minus 5, I know it's going to end with 8. 68, right? So you can see that we can use what we know in order to figure out new things. All right, so let's look at our math journal. Now, we're going to look at our math journal, and then we're going to put it away for a moment and look at something else, and then pull it back up. So what I want you to do, and we've done some of this already, so it might not quite be shaped as you see here, where it says I do and you do and you do. So if we have uh, 12 minus 7, right? 12 minus 7 is 5. So let's put a 5 right here. Oh, I forgot to have you go and open to this page. Um, take a moment and find Math Journal page 32. All right, now you're there with me. And we just put a 5 here for 12 minus 7. Now if we have 120 minus 70, we need to put a 5 again, but also add a 0 there because we're in the tens place. Look, now we're at 1,200 minus 700. So we still have the 5, but now we have 2 zeros like that, right? All right, I want you to do number 2. And then when you're ready, click continue. All right, hopefully you used the same pattern as I did. Now we can also do what we were doing with our number grid and think, okay, 6 plus 8. You know what? I'm going to do the subtraction one this time, and you'll get to do this one. So 14 minus 9 is 5. So 24 minus 9 also has to end with a 5. However, since I have one more, right, I went up by 10 here, I have to have 10 here because I went up by 10. Now I'm going to go up by 3 more 10s. 54 minus 9 has to end with 5 also, for sure. But 54 minus 9, if I counted that down, I would end up with 45, like that. Okay, you take a moment and do number 3. All right, I hope you use the same pattern here. Now, number 5 says use how you explain, excuse me, how you used a basic fact to help you solve problem 4. So this one is saying explain what we did here. Go ahead and write your sentence right there. Explain what we did. All right, now let's keep moving. I told you now we're gonna look at another skill and then come back to that math journal page. Here's our goal, right? We're working with adding and subtracting whole numbers. And so now we're going to do some combinations that equal 10, right? So we know a lot of these, right? 1 plus 9 equals 10. 2 plus 8 equals 10. 3 plus 7 equals 10. What else equals 10? Yeah, you might have said 6 plus 4 or 4 plus 6. You might have said 5 plus 5. So knowing things that equal 10, we can use that because we can now extend these. So we know that 3 plus 7 equals 10. So 33 plus something equals, see, look, this is the next 10. If I was going to count by tens, after I said 30, I would say 40. So 7 more would make 40. Same thing here, right? 83, 7 more gets you up to 90. So these are using groups of 10 in order to get there. All right, so let's say I want to go from 46 to 70, right? If I wanted to go from 46 to 70. Well, if I add 4 more, that's going to get me up to 70, right? So I can add 4 more. Excuse me, that's going to get me up to 50. So now I'm up to 50. Well, how would I get up to 70 then? Well, I would need to add 20 more. So what did I add? I added 20 and 24 and 4. So I added 24 to get there, right? We're going to use groups of 10 to get to things that we know. All right, let's do some together. 4 plus, so we want to start at 4 and end at 10. So how would we get there? We would add 6. What if we wanted to get from 64 up to 70? How much would we have to add to get here? 64 plus what? Right? And that might be a good way to think about this. Plus something equals 70. What do you think? What would go here? It's plus 6 again, right? Because we've got this, we're going to the next whole group of 10. All right, now let's subtract. If you will start at 80 and you wanted to get down to 73, what would it be? We're getting smaller, so subtracting. Well, let's see. I know that 3 plus 7 equals a group of 10. So I'm going to subtract 7. So how did I do that? I subtracted 7. All right. What if we were at 640 and we wanted to go down to 632? How much would we have to get rid of? What would we have to subtract there? We'd have to subtract 8 because 2 plus 8 equals 10. So we want to get a group of 10, subtracting there. All right, now as you work in your math journal, now we're down here. Now it does say that you can use a calculator to help you, right? So you can use that. That's nice. You could use a number grid or base 10 blocks. You're trying to get to think about, okay, if I start at 33, how would I get up to 40? What would I do? What would I add or subtract? Same thing here, right? If I start at 80, how would I get down to 23? Right? So you can use a calculator to help you, but you're going to be writing what did you add or subtract to get there on number 6 and number 7. And on number 8, you are going to explain what you did in this problem number 6. All right, I know that was a lot, and this is fairly complicated, but I bet that you can handle that, right? Think about the facts that you know, and then use those to solve things that you don't know. All right, that's all for today. I will see you next time, and good luck.